Yo, what's happening, people? And welcome back to the Tiki Taka podcast, where you're going to hear hot takes, unbiased opinions, and hopefully have a couple laughs along the way.
Yes.
And Michael is back this week.
Tagwan people actually missed the podcast.
Yeah,
I missed the. I watched the other one. It was good.
Yeah. Went deep on Chelsea.
Yeah.
And even though you weren't here, the Man United hate was still going strong.
God, I love that.
Armand hates Man United. He came on here.
That.
Even after and Chelsea after that podcast held 2 L's.
That's what I was thinking after the deep dive.
And I asked him after Everton, and he said he would still rather be in Chelsea's position than Man United's position. I guess the Bournemouth loss had something to do with that.
I think we're going to Chelsea big though.
But the fans who wanted their Man United hate still got it. But yeah, how was your holiday?
Holiday was good. Always good to take a break. What I will say, to keep this also related to the pod, we talk a lot of shit about like broadcasting in this country, games and stuff in this country. The minute you leave,
all of them are shown.
Like, it's not even that all of them are shown. It's like, okay, a lot of them are shown, but you start to miss certain things. Because I left on the Wednesday, and Man United lost to Galatasaray, or it was 3-3 to Galatasaray. And I was just gagging to hear what Rio and Scholes.
You missed a great game at Emirates that day.
That's what I'm exactly.
Yeah, Nick came. We had 1-6-0, 5-0 at half time. It was like what?
But I think, I talk a lot of shit about broadcasting in this country, and I will continue to talk shit about broadcasting in this country. But the minute you leave, and you're looking at like Dutch broadcasters, you're like, who is this guy? Who is Van der Vleugel? and I don't give a fuck about what he has to say. Onana just thrown 2 in the back of the net.
Yeah, who these guys never played the Premier League.
I need somebody to kill him.
I need Rio.
That's what I'm saying.
I need Rio. I need Evra. I need Neville. I need Scholes.
What I said to my boy about that game, when I was watching, I came back and I watched the highlights, and I saw Garnacho score in the first 5 minutes, and Rio just jump out. He's the real deal. That's it. That's the star talent.
And then Bruno's goal. That's the captain. He's turning up when the manager's job's on the line.
He's a clown. He's a clown.
He's getting torn apart for his new trim.
Yeah. That's it. It's very Ecuadorian. That's why.
Been spending too much time with Antonio Valencia, man. But yeah, since we last pod,
there's a lot that's gone on.
£100 million midfielders are being compared to John Joe Shelby.
Yeah.
Paul Heckingbottom has been sacked. First managerial casualty. The treble winners lost again without Rodri.
Yeah.
Serious conversations. How come? What? Pep Guardiola? Is your team dependent on one man?
Beyond the Rodri thing, which is crazy. Starting, was it Akanji and Stones in midfield?
Rico Lewis.
With Kovacic and Calvin Phillips all on your back.
Yeah. And Rico Lewis was in there as well. 3 defenders. Rico Lewis is a fullback.
That's crazy.
And Bournemouth got their first ever win at Old Trafford.
Yeah, which is
ever,
big talk.
First ever.
Areola, we thought he was going to be the first.
Areola, we're going to have conversations. But as we always do, unless something crazy happens, not too many things. Well, I guess Man United did lose at Old Trafford, so we could start there if you want.
No. Let's go in order.
Okay. We'll start with Crystal Palace, Liverpool. And it's back-to-back home losses for Palace. Pressure on Roy Hodgson's building a bit after, because they lost to Bournemouth in midweek.
Yeah, do you remember to see the comments he said?
Yeah.
He was like, the Palace fans have been spoiled.
Yeah. But then he apologized for that in his presser on Friday. And he was like, I was like heated a moment after the game. Or whatever. But obviously they go 1-0 up. And then the red card kind of changes the game.
I was watching the game, and I can't lie, I felt so hard done by it. I'm not even as a Crystal Palace fan, but just for Crystal Palace. I thought they put in a good enough performance to get a 1-1 or to potentially win the match. I didn't feel like Liverpool were overly creating clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities, playing that sort of free-flowing football that we know they can play, or that heavy metal stuff that we know that they can play. I thought that Crystal Palace honestly had put in the most Selhurst Park Crystal Palace performance.
Yeah.
And
it was missing that X factor.
Yeah.
Zaha,
because there was no Olise, there was no
on the bench.
But in terms of just workmen running around, being workmen, being solid. I remember you was questioning
penalty.
Yeah.
It's always a pen.
He was questioning the lineup. He was like, who's in there?
Yeah.
what are they doing?
Chris Richards playing in midfield.
Will Hughes is in there.
Yeah.
I was like, who are they? What are they doing? But fair play to Roy for ringing the changes after that poor defeat midweek. And then he put in a good enough performance to get a result out of it. But I just think the ref completely...
The thing is, I guess I'm a bit different to almost everyone else that I've seen, because everyone else has said that it ruined the game. And it did ruin the game, obviously, because it's
Liverpool
now
scored
10
just
against 11.
like
Yeah, but it's so dumb from Ayew, because the first yellow I think he gets for kicking the ball away or something.
No, he gets it for standing in front of VVD who's trying to take a free kick, and VVD kicks the ball at him.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones where it's like,
so I always have less sympathy for a player if you're already on a yellow card instantly.
Yeah.
If you then and I get in 99% of times we see that foul and the guy's not booked for it.
Yeah.
But that foul Ayew commits, he does stop a counter attack. Joe Gomez is already on the overlap. It's like a 4v3.
I don't know. I think I can. It's one of these ones where.
But those are never given as it's so soft.
I don't think it's a tragedy that it was a red.
Yeah.
I just think that in light of where we are going in football, where I thought red cards was like, this guy has made 2 stupid errors, he has to go.
Yeah.
Or it's like a ridiculous challenge where he has to go. The reason I'm unhappy about the red is I just think where we're going with refereeing and some of the decision making is like the bar to get a player sent off is so minimal.
Yeah.
If you want to give him a yellow for the first one, calm. Other people don't get yellows, but I can see why he's given a yellow. He stopped the team taking a free kick quickly, whatever. This other one, I just thought he makes a challenge. He makes a genuine attempt to get the ball. I don't think every foul is a yellow.
No.
And I think that was one of those ones where you didn't need to give a yellow. You didn't need to give a yellow. I hear it. The right back is overlapping, but that's it. He's overlapping. It's not even like if he's
not on a yellow, he gets booked there.
I don't think every foul is a yellow. I think you can look at Ayew and just be like, "That's a foul."
You can see the Liverpool break coming though.
I don't even think it's that promising a break. He's on the move for sure. Ayew chasing down for 5-10 yards. Yeah. That's what makes it look.
Yeah.
It makes it look a little bit. And
we were gassing up Ayew like 5 minutes before.
Yeah, he was winning fouls. Yeah. Maybe there's a little bit of bias in there because I wanted to see Liverpool lose the game, but I did just think that if that is the bar for now for getting players sent off, then we literally should have red cards.
Because they're never given.
Yeah.
And to like go straight for the yellow, they're like it just seemed like the ref wanted to send someone.
Yeah, he made it seem like, I don't know, it just wasn't for me an egregious foul.
Yeah, it's not.
Where it was like,
but you know, remember when Tomiyasu got sent off?
Yeah, it was some bullshit.
This was worse than that. This was more deserving of a second yellow than Tomiyasu's one,
and it was on Ayew.
Yeah.
So maybe what goes around comes around.
But on Liverpool, obviously they did come back.
Yeah. Fair play to them. That takes a lot of mentality.
Obviously we saw what Arsenal. Obviously we didn't get to cover the midweek games.
Yeah.
But obviously we saw Arsenal win late on there. Liverpool come back from a goal behind. And people asking the question, that's what champions do, or is it sustainable? Well, only time will tell.
That is literally
for that. But I wanted to ask you about okay, firstly, Virgil van Dijk is playing at a level that is very high.
Is he?
He's playing at a very high level.
He conceded 3 goals midweek at home.
No, he kept a clean sheet against Shef U.
Oh, Shef U.
He conceded 3 against Fulham.
He conceded 3 goals against Fulham. Shef U, that's whatever.
But
and then you had Mateta and Hudson Edouard with no service.
Yeah, but which striker is going to cause Van Dijk a problem?
And they gave away a penalty still.
It's not him.
Oh wow!
There was an 18-year-old player next to him.
He should have commanded the box. Should have the 18-year-old to chill.
But no, aside from that, just that core: Alisson, Van Dijk, Trent, and Salah. Those 4 players.
Yeah, they're world class.
Are those 4 players enough to kind of look at it and say, with the experience that they have, and like you say, they're 4 world class players.
Yeah.
Does that make them a stronger contender to win the league over Arsenal?
No, I wouldn't say that they're a stronger contender.
Because they have those 4 world-class who have done it before.
What I will say is, if Liverpool lose the league, it won't be because of Van Dijk, Trent, Salah, and Alisson. Yeah. Those 4, they've shown they're good enough to win the Premier League.
Yeah,
they're good enough to be consistent and perform week in, week out. What I think will end up costing Liverpool the league is the inconsistency and the inefficiency of the rest of the team around those 4. Like how well, who knows what Robertson's going to be, how long he's out for, who he's going to be when he comes back. Tsimikas, you thought would be locked in, nailed down to be starting. Mm-hmm. Seems like Klopp is going on some half games, 50-50 rotation. 50-50 rotation thing. You know, Endo is not even a guaranteed starter week in, week out. Obviously, McAllister's in and out with injury. So I think it's the rest of that combined that will end up not being enough for Liverpool, rather than VVD, Alisson, Trent, Salah not being good enough to win the league. They are. They're good enough to win the league. For Liverpool, for any team. They're so consistent. They're proven. They've got the mentality, and they still run through brick walls for Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
So I actually don't really have a doubt about those, and I think those 4 players are literally where this title charge is being mounted from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like the minute you get
because on the flip side of that, are those 4 players, like you said, then they're not going to be the 4 players to cost Liverpool the title or whatever. But on the flip side, can they be the 4 players to carry everyone else to the title?
The thing is, for them to carry everybody else to the title, everybody else needs to do their job. Like everybody else needs to.
But they've got nice pieces.
They've got nice pieces for sure, but everybody else needs to have a Harvey Elliott type of moment, and that needs to be a bit more consistent. Like Harvey Elliott's a great player. You know, he's got the ability, and we've kind of seen it on all this kind of stuff. But Salah, if Salah's going to get his 20-25, somebody else does need to get 10, 15, 60. You know, because that was what I think will stop them or dry things up. And then obviously you got Matip who's out. You know, they need to find another. The problem Liverpool have, I think, is like they need like 3. They need another centre back. They need another midfielder. And obviously the jury's still out in terms of like Nunez and what the attacking 3 is going to be.
Yeah.
And like, is it easy or is it possible to get at least a centre back and a good DM in Jan? Because as we've said, Liverpool will be there or thereabouts come March. But that March to May run, it might take.
But is that not where those 4 players will have that edge?
From that March to May run, it might take like 10 wins out of 12.
Yeah.
To win the title. And I don't think even with VVD, Salah, Trent, without another centre back partner for VVD who's not going to make mistakes in that run, and without a DM who's going to shore things up, it's too easy to get through.
But Konate's your guy.
Konate's my guy. I think Konate's a good midfielder.
And we'll see that regular. Well, Konate's injury prone.
Yeah. My only thing about Konate is he had a good first season. And then it's just been like chopped in and out an injury. And like we have, I thought Konate and Saliba were going to be nailed on as like France's number 1 and number 2 whenever Varane these guys give it up. But I think Konate he's not played enough football and has left enough wiggle room. And also Klopp has been playing random guys ahead of him, you know, which never feeds you with confidence. So to answer your question, I think
Konate was on the bench on the weekend and that Jarrell Kwanzaa started,
you know, I think I just don't think Liverpool quite have enough. And Nunez, like, is he gonna score goals? He was young. He tipped him to get 15.
Yeah, what's he on?
He's on 2, I think. He's only got the 2 at Newcastle, and maybe 1 more after that.
No, he's on more than 2. He's on more than 2.
In the
those aren't the only 2 goals he's scored.
Yo, I think they legitimately might be. He's got a couple of assists, but I don't know if he legitimately has more.
I still think he could get 15. He'll get 3 against Man United on Sunday. So that'll boost his numbers like Nicholas Jackson.
Do you think that they have enough? Do you think that there's enough in that Liverpool team? Do you back the players to carry the rest through, or do you think?
I think where Liverpool's downfall is going to be, we've spoken quite a lot on this pod about the Anfield factor. So I think at home they'll beat nearly everyone, most likely, right?
Yeah.
I think away from home, I've seen them in a couple of games this year. Wolves, they won late on, and Mateus Cunha missed a sitter in that game. Palace, they've obviously won late on. Shef U, they didn't play that well. Obviously, they won at St. James's Park when Nunez scored those 2 goals. But yeah, I think away from home against maybe the slightly smaller teams is where they might struggle. Like when they go to Brentford, I think they drew at Brighton.
We saw what happened at Luton.
Yeah, at Luton as well. Yeah, I think those places are where Liverpool might just fall short a bit. But we'll move on from that game to Brighton versus Burnley. And 1-1 in that game. Burnley actually took the lead after they beat Shef U 5-0 last week.
Yeah.
Company's starting to pick up some points. Still playing the same football. Oman came on last week and said he has to compromise. He can't just go through losing every week, and people saying, "Oh, at least he's sticking to his principles."
Yeah.
Fair. But he's starting to pick up some points. And on the Brighton side, Pascal Gross, his midweek goal off his left foot, ball striking ability.
FPL wise, I'm so unhappy because I know Pascal does this every December.
Yeah,
every December I know he goes in a mad one. So I'm so unhappy that I don't have the funds or movability to get him into this team. But from a Brighton perspective, he's probably the most dependable. Like I think he fits into whatever system De Zerbi wants to play.
Yeah. Well, did you see De Zerbi speaking about him after the game?
No, actually,
he was just saying his versatility he was like, I need to go to the Gross family and see if they've got another one because like he can play anywhere on the pitch every week. Give you 7 out of 10.
Sturdy.
And yeah, he got like a couple of balls he put in the box, man. Like Arsenal could do a lot worse than go and get Pascal Gross as a number 8.
The only problem is he's 30 or 29.
Yeah.
But I am a bit intrigued by Brighton. Not that they're having a bad season, but some of the results that I see. Like you look at Brighton, you think, oh yeah, they win this game on the weekend.
Yeah.
And they're 1-0 down, or they're 2-0 down, or you know,
they didn't score till last 10 minutes. Dingro scored.
Yeah,
another goal.
He's on one.
Yeah. I think Wivey's got him in his team. Isn't it?
He's on.
Wivey's creating a bit of a gap now.
He's on one. But yeah, I don't know what you think about some of these Brighton results, and like, do you believe it's just the Thursday, Sunday they're struggling?
I think that's definitely playing a part, and De Zerbi's changing like 8 players from Thursday to Sunday's games. Like João Pedro will play every Thursday and not start a single Sunday.
Yeah.
And Ferguson will come in. Even the centre backs he's changing. Hinshaw Wood's coming in.
Yeah, this Igor guy.
Yeah. It's just De Zerbi's like changing his players frequently, so I think that's playing a part. But yeah, and I also think, I mean, Brighton had a lot of chances on the weekend. They could have won that game. But yeah, but even Mitoma's not starting every week.
Yeah, he might be worse, not worse than Pep, but I don't have any.
He's up there.
I don't have any Brighton players in my team just because I honestly don't know who's going to start.
Other than Lewis Dunk.
Yeah.
Really,
Pascal Gross. You actually have no idea.
Even the keeper.
Yeah,
still 1 week. Dennis Verbruggen. It's changing. But yeah, 1-1 in that game, and this game is going to need some time.
Yeah.
Man United 0, Bournemouth 3.
I couldn't believe it, man.
At Old Trafford, I could not believe.
I couldn't believe it. And you know what's crazy? Because I know this is a poor United side.
Yeah.
And I know this is like a semi-informed Bournemouth side. But I still could not have sat there before the game. I still could not have sat there before the game and said this is going to end 3-0 to Bournemouth. It could have been 4, could have been 5, it could have been 6.
Yeah.
They had 3 disallowed goals. You know.
And the thing is, like, okay, so we've obviously had questions about Ten Hag.
Yeah. Well documented.
From even when he came in last year. Obviously, we weren't podding last year. But obviously, you'd have to say he had a successful season last year. And they finished in the top 4 and won a trophy. And everyone was saying that they had a better season than Arsenal last year. Which as seasons go, I agreed with, because they won a trophy and Arsenal didn't win one. But to caveat that, I said I would much rather be in Arsenal's position.
Okay.
They had a better season because they won a trophy. And ultimately, you know me, everything's about trophies. You need to win stuff. Right?
I can understand that argument.
But I'd much rather be in Arsenal's position. I said that last year because I knew that this fall off could come. Yeah. Whereas I knew I could see the progression in Mikel Arteta's Arsenal side. So I feel like we kind of knew that this could happen. But for Man United fans who blindly back their manager, rightly or wrongly, and blindly have faith in Ten Hag to take them back to the top, who thought that Ten Hag would bring back the Fergie type dominance, he could compete with Pep. What did he say?
What about
eras come to an end? All eras must end. In one of his first, and they will, man. I mean, yours is going to end pretty soon. But I think this result is a massive, humbler.
It's a crazy one
for the Man United fans, because the Man United fans that are still backing Ten Hag, I know they don't believe it.
Church mice.
I'm looking at them. I'm like, you're just doing this to save face.
I know,
because you've backed him for so long. You said he's better than all these guys, but this result, you look at it and now you think, damn. Like, we can't blame it on injuries.
Do you remember...
We got better players than Bournemouth.
Remember last year when we were 2-0 down at Bournemouth, how the heads were turning? Well, everybody... 2 goals to Bournemouth? So on and so forth. We turned the game around. We scored a great goal by Reece. And even then, guys were like, he went toe-to-toe with Bournemouth. This is unacceptable.
Yeah.
And we're in a situation now where that United team, as you spoke about, this United team, people thought were going to go from strength to strength. Mm-hmm. People thought third in the trophy last year. That means second and 2 trophies next year, or a title charge.
Yeah.
Or,
they thought it was just next step up now. Finished third, won a trophy. Yeah. Now we're going to compete for the title. And,
I mean,
good business in the summer, apparently.
I don't know where to begin with this game. I think we should do the game, and then we could do the Ten Hag. Yeah, the repercussions of the game afterwards. Because Dominic Solanke.
Yeah.
Solanke.
Speak on it.
And I think the crazy thing, first of all, about Bournemouth is they lost 5-0 3 days ago, or 3 days before this game was played.
Yeah.
They lost to Fulham 5-0.
No, that was Forest. Because Bournemouth beat Palace, innit?
Ah.
Bournemouth. Because in their last 5, Irioola's got 4 wins and a draw.
Shut the fuck up.
That's his record in their last 5 games. 4 wins and a draw.
Damn. So
they beat Newcastle as well, remember?
Yeah. I remember the Newcastle win. No, I was going to say that, like, basically, coming into this game, you think, hey, look, I look at the United lineup, which is another thing that is so crazy to me. I mean,
Martial.
Yeah.
I can't believe Ten Hag.
Do you know I'd play anybody?
Want to get sacked?
I'd play anybody ahead of Martial. I'd play the next kid. I'd play any guy who's banging goals under 21s. Anyone who's banging goals under 21s. Only because there is at least a possibility of a way forward through that guy. You absolutely know where this Martial cul-de-sac leads to. You absolutely know where this Martial cul-de-sac leads to.
I watched Game of the Day, man, and it was the Man United game, and all I saw was the ball coming to Martial, defender on his back, Martial falls over, appeals to the ref, no foul. Next time, Martial runs the channel, defender gets there first, Martial just strolls back, walks back, so lazy on the pitch. The one thing I've always said about Martial is 1v1, he's cold. Yeah, he'll score, and that's hard. Like, Arsenal need a guy who can bury their one-on-ones, but we don't need Martial because he won't do anything else.
And I think I was hearing a Man United fan talk about. Okay, wait, we'll do the game. So, I mean, for Bournemouth to come out in the first half the way they did as well, to put, I think they scored
Solanke. We need to get
Solanke. It's crazy to see. I think it's his best goal return already. Or he's getting close to it.
He's almost at 10, I think.
Yeah. I think it's crazy to see a slow Bournemouth start turn into this so quickly. And big credit to Semenyo, another guy.
Yeah, balling. I don't know what foot he is. I don't know if he's left or right foot.
So the first half, Bournemouth come out, they score one, and they put the ball in the back of the net 2 other times to have it disallowed. And I thought, all right, man, Bournemouth. I was literally telling, I was watching the game with Wivey. I was telling Wivey, I was like, Bournemouth are going to rue these missed chances.
Yeah, Man United will come back and win this game.
I was like, this is football. Like, this is literally Barclays Premier League. Man United will lose this game being the better. Sorry, they'll win this game being the better. They'll win this game being the worst team in this fixture. But it's just because Bournemouth didn't take their chances. And then when I saw Philip Billing come on, I was like, he's not even playing Philip Billing.
He's starting.
I was like, he's not even playing Philip Billing.
Shout out Ryan Christie, man. You mentioned Ryan Christie early.
I did.
You mentioned him. I think it was after we played them.
Yeah. He's got steady left
foot. He ran the show at Old Trafford. And I mean, we'll obviously get onto them, but Njonjo.
Yeah.
The new nickname for Enzo Fernandez, Njonjo. Well, he couldn't go to Old Trafford and get a hold of that midfield. Moises Caicedo couldn't but Ryan Christie ran the show.
I don't know what you put down Man United's inconsistency to. I don't know how you can put in Hackle and it's not even like they were great versus Chelsea, but you get a win versus Chelsea.
You know, I actually think Chelsea have come off worse than Man United.
I know.
I think they have come off worse than Man United.
But you literally think, all right, it was mid-off, as everybody was calling it, stinkfest, whatever, but we've come out winners.
I mean, but they made Man United look like Pep's Barca.
A decent team, yeah.
Man United fans were like, look at the way we pressed. Look at the way we built up. Look at Chelsea did this, you know.
But I'm saying, so after that performance, as a United fan, as anybody, you'd think, right, Bournemouth on the weekend, surely 6 points.
Home banker.
Yeah, surely 6 points. I don't know how mentally as well. Maybe, and as much as I'm going to shit on Ten Hag, I don't even know mentally how the players weren't, like Martial or any of these guys, apart from Martial. I don't know how these guys weren't up for this game or battle or title charge. They could have gone level on points with City before City played.
Yeah,
you know, they could have really like put themselves. We're having a poor season, but we're still Man United. We're here. We're in and about it.
Yeah, for sure.
And the next game is Liverpool, and it's it's like the fans expect you to lose the Liverpool game. They won't even, as long as you don't lose 7-0 again, they won't even get on your back like that. But
I mean, they thought that they were going to go there and watch with them standard home 4-0 win. And obviously that didn't happen. But away from the game now, and I gave a bit of an intro on Erik ten Hag and how Man United fans are really starting to just kind of turn their heads. You can't say anything about this result, man. Yeah. Like when they got beat at home to Brighton, everyone was riding the De Zerbi train, who then went 2 months without a win and saying, "Oh, Brighton are such a good team. De Zerbi's such a good manager." Then they lost at home to Palace. Oh, it was a one-off. Oh, it was just one of those games. Didn't take my chances. At this point now, Man United fans can't tell themselves that Eric Ten Hag, and that's what I want to ask you: can he come back from this? Are we gonna pod next week after they play Bayern Munich and Liverpool at Anfield? And bro, Man United fans are saying it's 5 minimum next week.
I think
is he going to be manager?
I think if he concedes 9 goals in the next 2 games,
yeah,
regardless of the results,
he could concede 9 in one of them.
Oh yeah, but if he concedes 9 goals in the next 2 games, regardless of results, whether they win those games 5-4 or whatever, I think Sir Jim and the fans will just be like, all right, enough is enough. Because I hear it when United fans talk about we were poor under all of these other managers. But some of these scorelines are so crazy. Some of these scorelines are so crazy. The 3 and the 4-0s, the constant conceding of 4 or 5 goals.
The away form at the top 9 is
despicable. But once you start losing 3-0 at home to teams like Bournemouth, once Brighton and guys start turning up and scoring 3 goals year on year, it's you know,
and they can't blame Rashford this time.
I don't think that's
Rashford
sustainable.
didn't play.
I think the craziest thing about Ten Hag is, for example, he has so much shit to deal with upstairs that the fans are willing to forgive him for. All of the crisis with the Glazers and all of this kind of stuff. The fans were even like, the fans were willing to give him so much leeway because they know how much of a mess it is upstairs. Yeah. But there's so many decisions that Ten Hag specifically has made himself that he just can't run away from. Yeah. And I just don't think, I think that's what he can't survive is. He doesn't there's a lot of things that fans will forgive him for just because of United are a mess right now. But his own personal decisions in that mess are so tough to stand by. Like, I don't know what dossier he can give to Sir Jim to be like, this is the reasons why I should keep this job. Yeah. You know, the Sancho things look crazy. The Varane things look crazy. The signings, they look crazy.
His player management, Sancho example, Varane example, there's rumors about Casemiro, him falling out with him. And then he's being asked about other players in his press conferences. He got asked about Rashford, and he said that Rashford's like working through his form, or he said, I'm not going to comment about players in the press conference or whatever. But when it was Jadon Sancho, he decided to come out and say X, Y, and Z about him publicly.
Everything he does is just falling like flat on his face.
Yeah, and we said this after the Jadon Sancho thing, which was after the Arsenal game.
He's got to win matches.
Yeah, if you win games, like that thing's in the past.
Batting journalists and then losing to Bournemouth.
What do you think those journalists are going to do now?
3-0 at home.
You've just aggravated, and this is why playing this game with the British media is so dangerous.
It's such a lose-lose.
Because if you do that, Samuel Luckhurst, Scott Carve Solokol, all of them, Rob Dawson, all of them, when they saw Bournemouth put that 3rd goal past you, licking their lips.
They couldn't.
What's that, Pat Bev? Licking my chops.
Yeah.
They're ready because now the press are going to come out and they're going to absolutely come for you. And that's the game he's played. Yeah. Whereas if you're winning games, you'll get through that.
And on his player management, Man United have got a huge wage bill. Yeah. I feel like of Man United's top 10 earners, Ten Hag could be beefing 7 of them. You got Sancho, you've got, Varane, Rashford is in and out of the doghouse, Casemiro is in and out of the doghouse. All of these guys that are on big bucks, big wages, tough to move, are the same very guys he's at loggerheads with. Yeah. And he's giving guys Garnacho, he's giving, Palestri minutes, he's got Kobe Mainoo getting minutes.
Starting every week.
That's what I'm saying. So it's...
You said, I remember you said, obviously this is the first time that we've been able to talk about this, but after the Everton game, we gave Kobe Mainoo his praise for his debut, and you were like, if Ten Hag plays him at Galatasaray and Newcastle, Ten Hag hates it.
Yeah.
Right? And he left him out of the Galatasaray game, but I stuck him in at St. James's Park, and Kobe got bypassed in that game. He looked like he couldn't keep up. They were running past him.
The problem, I don't know what you would define the biggest problem Man United have, but what I think Man United's biggest problem is this season is who their heroes are.
Yeah. You said McTominay. Yeah, it's unsustainable.
You're trying to push Maguire prop on me.
Yeah.
Martial's outscored Højlund.
Varane's getting benched because Evans can play with his left foot.
Martial's outscored Højlund, who's another hero of theirs. Højlund can do no wrong, but Martial's got more goals in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying?
Why
is Luke Shaw playing centre back?
Like those...
The Højlund one as well. 12
I
appearances.
told
0
you,
goals.
I've been having questions. It's not. I don't think Højlund's a bad player or anything like that. I do just think that you do kind of need a goal.
Yeah,
right
and
I don't think we can get to Jan and there'll be any excuse for you not to score.
yeah. And we said, or like at least I said that the pressure on Højlund to come in and bag goals is like a 21-year-old leading the line for Man United at Old Trafford should not be the pressure on him. Højlund should have been the understudy.
That's Ten Hag's guy.
Exactly, it is.
Ten Hag pushed for him. The fans were saying, "You don't see it. You don't quite see what Ten Hag is seeing in him." They would say, "Oh, in Atalanta, you guys don't really watch Serie A. You don't know what Ten Hag sees in him."
He's got 5 Champions League goals.
Like I think, to answer your question, if they concede the goals that I think they can concede in these next 2 games, regardless of the performance, regardless of the results, it's going to be a long day. And I agree with what a lot of people have been saying about when Sir Jim finally does come in.
I think he's going to make the change.
He's going to clean house, man.
That's what most people do, innit? But this is to defend Ten Hag, because I've said this before that unfortunately for Ten Hag, he's just trusted the wrong players. Ten Hag, you can get rid of Ten Hag, but this squad, that Man United squad needs to be gutted from top to bottom. I think Rashford needs to go. I think Bruno needs to go. Shaw needs to go. McTominay needs to go. All of these guys that have been consistent failures. Because when Ten Hag came in, the idea from a lot of Man United fans was still there's good players in this squad.
Yeah.
And Ten Hag got a tune out of them last year. But they show you that there's not going to be any level of consistency there. So now it's at a point where you really need to gut this squad.
You know what it sounds like? When Emery came in.
Yeah.
And he thought there was just 1 or 2 signings away from him.
Yeah. And we thought it was quick, back to the top. Change manager from Wenger, now we're going back to the top.
Yeah. But I was going to say, on the players, though, I do think a lot of the players that he brought in are going to need to go.
Well, this is my point. So, like I've said before, I think it was after the Man City game when we spoke about it, and I said you live and die by your recruitment ultimately in football now, especially if you're given. That's the difference between Ten Hag and the other managers. Like we know Oli wanted to sign Haaland, Oli wanted to sign all these guys. The board. Ten Hag got given. He said when he came in, I want full control over the players we brought in, and they gave him that. And this is a list of Ten Hag signings, and I just want you to tell me if up until this point you think they're a success or a failure. Okay, in your opinion, right? Malacia,
failure.
Ericsson,
he's been all right.
Yeah, I think Ericsson's done okay because he came on a free. Yeah, I think he's injured at the minute.
I was gonna say I haven't seen him play football in a while.
Lissandro,
he's been all right.
Yeah, I would say success for Lissandro.
He's been all right, yeah.
I think he's done all right. I think long term, even with another manager, they could play him at left back.
Yeah,
and he could do it.
I'm sure has to go.
Casemiro.
I would say Casemiro overall, and it's going to sound weird because I love Casemiro. I think he's been a failure just because of the longevity. There is no longevity in that deal. The 5-year deal from Madrid, the 300k a week or whatever it was.
Yeah. I think up until this point, I would say he's been a success.
I would.
He scored in the final last year, won a trophy.
He did big things. He changed that midfield the season before Casemiro got there. Was the midfield of now. It was the midfield of now. Yeah. And the only difference is Casemiro has been in and out of the side. But I don't think Ten Hag should have pushed that through.
Yeah.
With a foresight on the years to come. Because he's on big wages. He's going to be tough to move. You can only really go Turkey, Saudi, all this kind of stuff.
It was panic station.
It was panic station.
They couldn't get De Jong.
It was panic.
They just got beat 4-0 at Brentford.
Yeah. So I think it's a failure because, as you say, when they leave the club and the next manager comes in, is Casemiro going to be a linchpin in his plans?
Anthony.
Failure. Fucking
probably one of the biggest failures in Premier history.
And Anthony's getting the baby like, he's looked nice recently. Did you see that turn? Did you see that little?
Yeah.
Stop.
Weghorst.
Yeah, of course, failure.
Sabitzer.
Failure.
Mount.
Jury's still out. Not played enough games.
No. Up until this point,
he's been a failure.
It cost them big time. Højlund.
Failure.
Johnny Evans.
Failure.
Amrabat.
Sucks. Ashrabat.
Reguilon.
I actually think Reguilon.
He's done all right, isn't it? But Man United fans are saying Reguilon, who's meant to be emergency left back signed on loan, has been our best player.
Yeah. The only reason Reguilon's done all right is because he's just been Reguilon.
And because Reguilon, it's the same Weghorst thing. He wants to play for Man United, so he's playing for a contract. If Man United make the mistake of giving Reguilon a contract,
Reguilon's looking at Malacia thinking, "You're not going to be here next year."
I can be the back. If you give Reguilon a contract, I'm telling you now, you will see the Reguilon we saw at Spurs.
Once Reguilon gets a cushy 150 a week,
that's what he's playing for. He's playing for like his future life, future house, future kids. That's what he's playing for in a minute. He's giving everything on that pitch.
150 a week for a 3-year deal, and he just gives up.
And yeah, lastly, because the game is happening this weekend, Manchester United are going to Anfield. Bruno Fernandes, you reckon he got that booking on purpose?
I think it was definitely in his because I don't think there is a way in which they would have let him out on the pitch without reminding him.
He knew.
Manager, team, whatever.
Football clubs, Premier League clubs are
we know. If we know, he knows.
They're telling and they know.
And it's petulance. It's not even that he put in the
last minute of the game.
Yeah, it's not even that he put in it's a goal line, whatever. You know, the eye thing, pulled him back, whatever, stopped the counter attack. You're already 3-0 down. The game is gone.
Yeah.
All you can do is focus on next week.
He forced the ref to book it.
And he doesn't want to.
He just wouldn't stop. He just kept going and going. And I think he knew. He was like, I was a part of the 7-0 last year.
If I do 2 years in a row,
I know what's going to happen when we go there. I don't need to be a part of this. I genuinely think he knew. And on that game, anyway, United get something. Football's a crazy game.
And do you know what? United will put in a good 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because they know everybody's going to be on their back. The fans, all of it. It's Liverpool. McTominay's going to be running around like a headless chicken for the first 20 minutes. The first goal of the game actually means nothing because Liverpool end up winning. But the first goal of the game...
No, but I think it means something because if Liverpool score in the first 10 minutes...
Oh, okay.
And those Man United... I've heard Patrice Evra, Gary Neville, Rio Ferdinand, all these guys say, you never know what it's like to go to Anfield until you go there as a Man United player, yeah? If they go 1-0
if they can see in the first
10, and the crowd
heads just drop.
Those fans in the stadium that day are gonna be thinking we can get him sacked here and now.
They're gonna be singing the same Ten Hag, we want you to stay, we want you to stay. Exactly, I think that's the stuff that you can't come back from.
No,
like the performances and
60,000 in Anfield singing you're getting sacked in the morning,
and that's the stuff that the dressing room can't almost forgive you for. Like everybody comes back into the dressing room.
Those humiliations.
Yeah, and it's like. Guys are looking up at you. You're trying to give the speech of, you guys need to do more. You're so fucking shit. And all they're thinking about is 60,000 fans are saying that they want to keep you around. They think that you're not good enough to get the best out.
And those Liverpool players are going to know, like in contrast to the United players who I can't really think of one who I think is, he's going to step up and be counted for in that game. Compared to the Liverpool players who are also gonna know, like we could really humiliate these guys here.
The thing is, Liverpool are going for a title, and that's all Klopp needs to tell the team.
Yeah,
we're going for a title.
They're not gonna. It's not gonna be a case of Liverpool have dropped off or Liverpool aren't taking Man United seriously. Klopp's a great manager. He knows what he's doing. Those players out there, Trent, Van Dijk, Salah. We know Salah's record. I'm captaining him this week in FPL, 100%. Might even triple captain him because I know exactly what's going down. If Reguilon left back, Luke Shaw left back, whatever you want to do, and I'm pretty sure Ten Hag's going to go Evans and Maguire.
If you was Ten Hag though, how would you try and turn it around? Do you think that you have the?
You can't.
Do you think you would go to the Varanes and?
Yeah, maybe... but then, what does that mean?
But it's.
I don't think he can't bring back Varane because Varane's then going to look at him like a joke, man.
But you would rather Varane look at you like a joke, man, than go and get slapped up.
You 7-0. You do, but
and people
no respect for Ten Hag after that. Varane's going to look at him, and other players are going to look at him. What Jadon Sancho? Well, this guy didn't apologize, but he's back in the team now.
Yeah, no, Jadon Sancho has to stay in Siberia. That one, he made his bed. He's made his bed with Jadon Sancho. He has to stay in Siberia, but. There's got to be some of these like heavy hitters you can look to, and be like, "Hey, look, man, go hat in hand, apologize."
I don't think he's gonna do that.
I don't even need an apology. You just need to look him in the eyes and say, "Can I trust you to play on Sunday? I need you." You know, whatever it is, an additional 50K, whatever it is, whatever it is
get back out
that you've got to do.
Yeah. No, I agree. If I was in Ten Hag's position and I was manager of Man United, I would be in Varane's. I would call Varane into the office Monday morning.
Just be like,
say, "Look, bro,
between us,
let's put all of that to the side.
Can I tell people you apologize, even though you didn't?"
Yeah. And I don't care. I'll beat you up in the media. Yeah. And I need you to play on Sunday. That's what I would do. I would just swallow
whatever,
it all up, and I would just say, "Yeah, look, I need you to play. But I think Ten Hag's going to play Evans and Maguire.
That's just crazy.
Which to Nunes,
That's just crazy.
Salah, and Diaz.
That's just crazy.
But we'll see. And you know what? Like we say, football's a crazy game, man.
It is.
This could be a week that Erik Ten Hag stakes his claim as Man United manager if he goes and beats Bayern Munich.
Do you remember last year when Liverpool turned up to Old Trafford and we all thought Man United were going to get smacked, and then Sancho won it for them?
Yeah. Sancho and Rashford,
So
it could happen. But make sure you tune in next week
because we will be there.
Whether Liverpool win or Man United win, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be a revelation.
But moving on from that game, Shef U versus Brentford.
Brentford.
Shef U won 1-0. Chris Wilder is back.
Is that the headline?
Back.
What do you think about the reappointment of Chris Wilder? Do you think that... I thought Sheffield might try and go in a different direction, but I understand.
I like it. I think it's sensible.
Solidarity.
Chef, you can't do the Iraola thing.
And what was Chris Wilder doing? He was just waiting by the phone.
Yeah.
He was leaking it.
He was just waiting to come back. He's like overlapping centre backs. Let's go. that back for Keane Egan, Jack Robinson. That was what he had last time.
McBurney's still there. All the guys.
And McAtee scored a great goal in that game.
Yeah. It's fair.
But yeah, Brentford just struggling with injuries, man. The Mbeumo one's big as well.
Yeah. I feel a certain way about Brentford's lack of clean sheets though. Like they're not conceding every game, but there's certain games I'd go into last year thinking Brentford are going to keep a clean sheet.
Yeah.
And nowadays they just don't.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know what's going to happen now with Mbeumo out. I mean,
now it's Wissam Mope.
Yeah.
Whatever from Tony Mbeumo to Wissam Mope.
It's kind of crazy.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, I think the struggle for Brentford is they've got a lot of injuries, man. Rico Henry's a big loss. Nathan Collins is out in a minute. Matthias Jensen still hasn't come back. They've now lost Mbeumo.
Do you think Wilder makes it to the end of the season? Do you think there's a chance for another managerial change?
No, I think he'll make it.
Because I would have thought that you put Wilder in. Obviously, your whole thing is to try and stay in the Prem. But yeah, I think I just wouldn't be surprised if there's another managerial change at Sheffield United by closer towards the end of the season. Depends on how far back they are.
Yeah. But I just don't see
a reason to get rid of Wilder.
Yeah,
I think they're I think
if Shef U are at the point where they're thinking
we're gonna go down,
get rid of Wilder, they're already relegated. At that point, just keep him for the championship.
That's the problem. I don't think they want to keep him for the championship.
Yeah, but then sack him at the end of the season.
Oh, okay.
You don't need your new guy coming in playing Premier League football, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal every week, team getting slapped up, not instilling any confidence like in the style of play or any. Just bring him in for the championship and see what happens.
And do what you got to do.
But yeah, moving on from that game, obviously Shef U won there. Wolves versus Nottingham Forest, 1-1. Mateus Cunha.
Yeah, I'd taken out Alvarez and brought in Cunha and Stones. And then I didn't make the changes. And then I logged in on Saturday and Cunha had gone up by 0.5. And all of a sudden I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And then he scores.
Yeah.
But he's doing his thing.
Bat bought him in a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he's come with
transfer.
He's been cleaning up. No, Cunha...
Bat who's still top of the league because he's captain Son every week. So somehow he keeps getting away with it.
No, I think Wolves and Wolves are in a good run in terms of I feel like this is the most I've ever seen a Wolves team consistently score goals. I don't ever remember under Nuno, it used to be 0-0 or 1-0 if Wolves were lucky. You know. So I think
even under Bruno Lage,
it
was still dry.
It was 0-0 or 1-0 if you're lucky. And now I'm in a position where I think Wolves are I'm going into games thinking I don't know if Wolves are going to win, but I know that they'll probably get one. You know, but I think Steve Cooper there, the vultures are circling.
They're already asking the questions and stuff,
which is crazy because I don't think he'll do a worse enough job than the three relegated teams, the three already promoted sides.
Yeah,
but he's not necessarily when the home form starts to dip. He's not necessarily filling the fans with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, but I still think that from what he did last season, he's got credit in the bank. And they got Tottenham at home on Friday night.
Yeah. The problem I think they have is that, for better or for worse, they spend a lot of money. And I know it wasn't all him that spent the money, but it's like other managers can at least say, "You never invested in me. I need give me 3 more games."
Yeah.
You know, Cooper.
But at the same time, it's like, where do we really expect Nottingham Forest to be?
Yeah, if they finish 15th, it's been a good year.
Yeah, like Premier League survival was probably the aim.
Yeah.
And Steve Cooper's on track to do that. So
yeah, I think as soon as they ever get sort of like, I don't know where they are from the bottom, but as soon as they start getting 3 or 4 points,
then you can start looking at it.
They're really gonna start circling on him,
because they were the ones who got beat 5-0 by Fulham midweek, which was Fulham were. I mean, they've had 2 big wins, but 1-1 in that game.
No red card either, or what? It's just crazy.
We'll move on to what was the evening game: Villa versus Arsenal. Arsenal taking their 2nd loss of the season. But on Aston Villa, firstly, they've beaten City and Arsenal in 1 week, in the space of a couple of days.
Big credit.
And Unai Emery's got all of those players out there playing to their absolute maximum. I don't think that was something we always used to ask about Arteta, right? Is
he's getting the best out of this team
when we weren't going through good phases or whatever? Is Arteta getting the maximum he can out of these players? I think Emery's doing that at Aston Villa.
Yeah, 100%. Emery's 100% getting the most out of a lot of these guys. I haven't, McGinn's been ferocious.
John McGinn,
he's been ferocious.
Another number 8. I'm looking at
No, McGinn's been ferocious in midfield. Even
against Man City, he was massive. I know he scored against Arsenal, so people might think it's easy to give him the praise, but against Man City,
it's huge.
Yeah, he's just been big.
He does the dirty yards like no one else does, and he's got a decent left peg in terms of he sees that switcher play,
that turn swivel
to Leon Bailly,
and then finish.
Come on. I think Ezri Konsa's doing all right at right back. I didn't expect him to be. He's not like he's kept 2 clean sheets versus Arsenal and City.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a job there.
Pau
Torres is someone I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really see much of Pau Torres, but all I ever heard was Fuad cussing him out, saying, "Oh, he can play with the ball. He's a ball player, but we need real men in this."
Yeah,
league.
do you know?
But I mean, he's and on the ball, he's serious.
Do you know what it is?
Serious.
It's Pau Torres suffers from the trauma that other left-footed ball-playing Spanish centre-backs like Longley and these guys have done to the Premier League, where it's like, I know you can ping it 70 yards on your left foot, but can you win a header? Can you win a header in a box? When somebody's trying to sort of get the shoulder to shoulder, you're going to be strong enough. It seems like Pau Torres is doing all of that and still building up attacks from the back. All of them are playing. Douglas Luiz, he's playing exceptionally well. Leon Bailly, he's playing exceptionally well. I do think Emery's getting the best out of the team, but one of the things the game did reiterate to me was how much I fucking hate Emi Martinez. I hate Emi Martinez. And he is just a full-on asshole. He's just like a dickhead 24/7. And the thing I hate most about Emi Martinez, I think, it's the fact that he has a World Cup. Because if he didn't have a World Cup, I'll just be like, he's
just another bum.
Yeah, he thinks he's bigger than he is. But because he has the World Cup and he dyes his hair the same color as Argentina and whatever those stupid sideburns are, he just pisses me off so much. So more than Pickford.
Is it the fact that Arsenal fans say, "Oh, this is the keeper we should have kept"?
No, it's not even that, because I know Arsenal fans, they stop saying that now, but it's just who Emi Martinez is whenever there is a 1-0 lead to Aston Villa. And I get it, if you're an Aston Villa fan, you'll love it. He's your favorite guy.
He's a good goalkeeper.
He's a good goalkeeper. I won't ever sort of talk down on his ability.
But what I will say about Villa is that I'm not getting carried away
with the hype.
They're doing great. Players are performing. Emery's doing great. 15 home wins in a row. Nothing to be snuffed at or whatever. But I don't believe the Villa hype as much as maybe some other people do. I will categorically sit here now, 15 games into the season, when Villa are 2 points behind first place, and say they will not get top 4. Look straight down the lens and say they will not get top 4.
Do you know why?
Because they're playing well at the minute. I think the high line that they play in the offsides, I think that's going to cash them out at certain points. And I think when it comes down to it, I think Tottenham and Newcastle, and we don't know what's going to happen with Man United and where Man United might go. But I think
new manager bounce.
I think Tottenham and Newcastle are better teams than Villa. I know Villa beat Tottenham and Newcastle slapped Villa on the first day and whatever, but I think both of those teams are better teams than Villa.
Do you know what's crazy is I agree with you that Villa are not going to get top 4, but Newcastle are 9 points behind them right now. To be fair, they've played one less game than them. But I agree with your overall points. I'm not going to get carried away with the hype of Aston Villa. Aston Villa's away form is going to let them down.
Yeah.
It's going to let them down. 100%.
They should have lost at Bournemouth the other week.
They're going to lose 3 away games in a row.
Yeah, they will.
And that 9-point gap is absolutely going to be eaten into by Newcastle.
Because even in this game, and we'll talk on the game, Arsenal, if they take their chance, and obviously Arsenal haven't taken their chances, we know people are going to make that argument.
Yeah.
But when you actually look at the game, if you watch the game, Arsenal probably 8 times out of 10 win that game. Because they take their chances and they win the game maybe 3-1, 4-1 even.
Do you know what I will say is, and obviously we've just done credit to Aston Villa, I will give credit to Unai, because even as an Arsenal manager, he always had a tactical plan. He always thought he had a tactical plan to win the game.
Yep.
Like, we used to say actually that Unai can sit there with the best of them in terms of schematics. And trying to get, the 4-4-2 diamond at Anfield, trying to get Pepe. He sees the visions in his mind, and now
until Baku.
Exactly. And well, there is always a point.
Yeah, until Baku.
There's always a point when it runs out for Unai, and then but alas, I just think
but it's important to say that like Unai Emery still deserves full credit.
100%.
Potentially manager of the season so far, because nobody expected Villa to be where they are now. So me saying that they're not going to get top 4 isn't saying that they're going to fall away or whatever. No, 2 points off first?
I think people not 2 points off first, but I think people. It wasn't out of the realm of possibility for Villa to be in the top 4 at this stage. People really thought Villa were going to have a good start.
They were predicting them to have a good, but everyone had Chelsea and Man United above them.
Yeah, I said I was never on the Chelsea hype. I remember speaking to you and Stebby.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know why people think Chelsea are back.
Yeah. Well, we'll have that conversation. But moving on to the Arsenal side.
Yeah.
We spoke about this a bit off air. For me personally, even though we lost, I came away from the game like just feeling like, we've played well, man. Like we've gone there, we've played well. I saw what they did to City midweek. It was nothing like that.
It wasn't that.
We kind of dominated. We just didn't do the most important thing, which was put the ball in the back of the net.
I also liked the fact that other fans or fans of other clubs weren't pushing it like, Villa battered City and battered Arsenal. Like, I'm happy that people were able to see that. It wasn't the same game. As much as it was the same scoreline, it wasn't the same game. And I agree with you. I think I've had way more annoying losses than this loss. It's just for the simple fact that we didn't get cheated out of it by our refereeing performance, and we didn't throw the game away ourselves, giving away goals or just downright not putting 3 passes together, having any shots on target. Any other day, Odegaard takes those chances. The Kai Havertz goal stands, all this kind of stuff that should have got us back into it falls our way. And I just think when you play 2 games in the span of 3 days, you can look at
away games.
You can look at everybody who's played these last 2 fixtures, the midweek and this fixture. Some of the results are so contrary, they literally contradict each other. And I think it's one of those ones. This is the Barclays Premier League. If the smallest thing doesn't need to go your way. If we don't concede that goal, and this just sounds stupid to say, if we don't concede that goal,
I don't think Villa had another chance.
In the first 5 minutes, it ends 0-0.
And I think Ben White should do better on that goal.
I think Rice is at fault for that goal. Because I think Gabriel is out there.
Trust him 1v1.
Yeah, Gabriel is out there doing the thing. Yeah. And it's like, Rice is stood there, Ben White is stood there, and the John McGinn is actually kind of on Rice, and then Rice just darts across to try and get the additional cover on Gabriel. And before Ben White should do better, before Ben White really realizes that Rice is already gone, McGinn is already on the half turn.
I understand it though, because even though it's Gabriel who's elite 1v1 is Leon Bailey.
Yeah.
And Declan Rice is used to playing with Mavropanos and Agued and Zuma, and he thinks, I need to get over and cover it because this man's gonna get ripped.
It could also be a direct communication from Arteta, always double up. Don't let Leon get the one.
But I think, I mean, I said this as well off air. It's different to the Newcastle loss because the Newcastle loss, like you say, maybe bad refereeing decisions. Obviously, they scored from what should have been a foul.
And it was a better performance than the Newcastle performance.
Exactly. In the Newcastle one, we didn't really create anything.
Exactly.
So the best we probably could have done out of that game was a draw. Whereas this game, I think we definitely should have won the game, the amount of chances we had. And on that, I want to... Martin Odegaard.
Yeah.
I've backed you big. We both backed him big time on this podcast. Big time. And you let me down on Saturday because stakes were high.
We needed
away from home. And you've got those... The first one, he has to score, but Emi Martinez has made a good save. He's read it early. The second one, he's got to put that.
And you know, the problem is, this is like 2 years running. Because last year, even though we ended up winning in the game, he missed a sitter from the penalty spots.
And it's not just him. Gabriel Jesus had a chance where his first touch has to be better.
Yeah, Saka had a chance where his first touch kind of has to be better as well.
And could make it 1-0.
No, I agree, but I don't want to kill Odegaard too much because
but he let me down.
He let me down as well. He let me down as well, but
I'm still vouching for you.
I like the fact that he's getting the chances.
Yeah.
Because I would be, as I said, I would be more annoyed or really worried if Odegaard wasn't getting those shots off, those chances in the box. I start to think, where are we going? How much credence though do you pay to the whole we're not as good an attacking team, or obviously the stats are there, it's visible as well, but do you think it's going to potentially be a lingering problem moving forward? Because Arsenal in a weird situation where it's like Eddie will score, Jesus will score, and somebody else will score, and they'll be like, did you know the last 15 goal scorers for Arsenal have been 15 different players? And then we won't score one week and they'll be like, oh, Arsenal need a 20 goal of season striker. Where are you at? Where's your head at with the narrative?
I think, like I said, I need more from Odegaard. I need more from Jesus, and I really need more from Martinelli. I love Martinelli. He's one of my favorite Arsenal players. He puts 100% shift in every week. Yeah. But the amount of times in that Villa game, and a lot of times this season, he's beat his man. He's gone to the byline, but the end product just isn't there. Yeah. And I need more from him. But we've had this conversation about the fluidity, and I told you,
don't worry,
it's on one man. And people are going to look at me like, oh, you're coming for Rodri and whatever about fluid. We're still winning games with 2 points or 1 point off the top or whatever it is, but one man. He can't come back quick enough.
Absolutely. I absolutely would have started Rice and Partey in a double pivot with Odegaard for this game. Yeah. No joke. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, because you brought this up, I don't know if it obviously Odegaard missed the 2 chances and the 50-50. You saw that video.
I saw, yeah. I saw real time, and I thought
it annoyed me. Right when players do that, it annoys me. But I know Martin Odegaard, Mesut Ozil, these kind of players.
It's not their game.
They're not going to go in for that challenge. Right?
He's thinking my knees.
yeah. We saw Matty Cash did to bench tackle. Right. So I know that they're not going to do that, but it annoys me, especially in big away game and stuff. In big games, could the midfield in the future potentially be Partey, Rice, and Havertz?
And Odegaard is on the
Kai
bench.
Havertz turning up week in, week out for Arsenal.
That needs to be said.
Balled out against Villa.
That needs to be said.
Best Arsenal player on the pitch.
Yes, agreed.
The only unlucky to have the goal ruled out.
Should have had 2 assists.
Yeah. Both those balls in. Perfect.
Just finish it. That's all it is.
He was superb in that game.
Yeah, he was.
Quality performance from Kai Havertz. Could that be? And I mean, I'm still talking this season, not even next season. This season, crunch time comes. We go away to the Etihad, away to Tottenham, away to Old Trafford. Could it be Partey, Rice, and Kai Havertz?
Not under Mikel's rule. I think the only way. I think
Mikel's ruthless enough to do that.
I think that those 3 could only ever finish a game, and that would be Odegaard coming off for Havertz at the 75th minute. I don't ever think that if both fit, he would ever put Havertz in instead of Odegaard.
I think Mikel's ruthless enough to do that.
I'd be really shocked just because I know how much Mikel loves his manager on the pitch type of person. We always have either
Declan Rice.
No, but Declan Rice, as much as he is a leader on the pitch, he's not the man. Like Arteta needs.
I don't know if Odegaard's that man.
I don't know. Arteta needs.
And this isn't me saying I would do that. This is just me asking you the question.
Do you know what it is? I think
because then you got 6'4" Havertz, 6'2" Rice, 6' Partey.
No, I hear you, but I just think
no one's bottling 50-50s there. So it's the amount of challenges Havertz went into.
Yeah, he doesn't shock away.
No,
who was it that was trying to give it to him at the end? And Havertz, they had like this head-to-head collision. You know what I mean?
It was Martinez.
Was
when
it
he ran into Martinez. I love that. I love that. Bro, Havertz challenge at Newcastle.
He's not taking a step back.
I've got
I'll tell you that
time
much.
for Kai Havertz.
He's not taking a step back. But I just think that we always, there won't be a minute this season where we don't have either Zinchenko, Jorginho, or Odegaard on the pitch. There won't be a minute this season. And that's just because Arteta needs the guy who reads the game the same way he thinks he reads the game and can be like, oh, we need to overload this area. Or we need to start doing triangles here.
But yeah, just maybe to have a bit more of a combative midfield.
It's not even just like to speak on Kai, it's we're just seeing things in the last 2-3 weeks, 4 weeks that just were nuts.
So a goal against Luton.
We're just even beyond the G's and the A's. They just were not. Kai is breaking from midfield.
Yeah.
He's
that clip against Villa when he breaks through.
He's picking up the ball from the halfway line and just breaking from midfield and like leaving players in his dust, riding challenges. You know, he's doing like double drag backs in corners, getting out tight spaces. Yeah. Like we're just seeing different things from Kai Havertz in terms of his ability and his confidence that was just not there at the very beginning of the season when everybody's getting onto him, fans are trying to baby him as well. I like the steady progress. I like the steady development. You can clearly see he himself is feeling more attached with the group.
He's just won Arsenal's Player of the Month.
Is it? Yeah. He's feeling more attached to the group. He's feeling more like, I'm not a token player, or I'm not here for the ride or whatever. If we get carried to trophies or whatever, it's not going to be like he genuinely, legitimately wants to be a reason, one of the reasons, and he genuinely, legitimately has big moments. I know the goal was disallowed, but that would have been another big moment where it's like
for sure
he has that knack of, I know how to put the ball in the back of the net at crunch time.
Yeah.
At crunch time,
and that's where I think, especially latter stages of the Champions League. Armand said on this podcast last week, obviously Chelsea fans seen Kai Havertz, seen him perform in big games, seen him score winning goals in Champions League final. He said that when those latter stages come and Mikel Arteta has the opportunity to play Kai Havertz as a false nine,
I agree with that.
That's when and in those big games, Kai Havertz will probably have another big moment.
I actually think that is, and obviously the Champions League goal was always like brought up, but I actually think that that is one of the biggest reasons why Mikel signed Kai, not just for the Champions League goal, but for Kai's ability to score big goals, the big goal, the only goal in a 1-0 game, or take and whether it's a deflection, whatever it's going to be, Kai Havertz finds a way to find the space to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah,
and I think Arteta is spent the 65M. I said other reasons, the versatility for sure, all of that kind of stuff. But I think one of the big attributes he likes about Kai is he has this weird mentality of rising in the big moments, of backing himself in the big moments, making the run to the back post. And
all we did in the last 10 minutes against Luton and Villa were clip pings to Kai Havertz to the back post,
and also
just fight for it, knock that out.
I know he's 6'4", but I still love the fact that he challenges. He's not a 6'4" like the way Ivan Toney's a 6'4", or whatever. Yeah, and this is another thing I wanted to bring up. Actually, I think it is very, very interesting, the goals that Kai Havertz scores. Very, very interesting. Because everybody talks about us needing to get Toney. I would take Toney today. I'll take Toney tomorrow.
We need to sign Ivan. We need a striker, and that striker needs to be Ivan Toney.
But the reason I think it's interesting is because the goals Kai Havertz scores are Ivan Toney goals. They're the back posts. They're the 5 yards. He hasn't scored a goal outside the box or outside the 6-yard box. Yeah, he's not even taking shots from the penalty area, from outside the penalty area or anything like that. And he's playing in the number 8 position. Arteta uses Havertz, in an attacking sense. In that, like,
even from goal kicks and stuff, he's the guy.
So it's like
but Ivan Toney will score goals that Kai Havertz won't score.
I agree with that. The snapshots, the like strikers on the turns, all that kind of stuff. I agree with that. But I just think that I wouldn't be surprised if we don't go in for Tony, and if we go in for a winger or something else, just because Arteta might be thinking, look, I can go big and try and spend 60, 70, 80 on an in-the-box striker, but I have a guy who's scoring me goals in the box.
Yeah, I think don't recruit any other position. Ivan Toney is the guy. If you want to win the league,
I agree with that. If we plug and play that in to the thing, it could work. But
hey, for me, Jesus' long-term future at Arsenal, I've seen enough now. Is as a winger.
Oh, you think?
And a striker when Ivan Toney, if we get Ivan Toney.
Some auxiliary forward,
like he was at Man City.
Some auxiliary forward.
I've seen enough to know that this guy isn't a good enough. He's a great player. Great, but he has world-class like ability to play, but he's not a number 9 in a title-winning team.
I think it's going to be very interesting, just because as much as I want Tony and Tony would be my first choice, I do think that a part of Arteta is also like, I don't want to go, or Eddie or whoever it's going to be, I don't want to go spend 80 mil when I've already spent 65 mil on a guy who's scoring those exact same goals.
No, but it's different, man. It's different because, like I said, Tony's going to score those goals that Havertz won't score.
Tony, I don't think so. Tony's going to score the goals that Jesus won't score.
Which we need.
Because
Havertz isn't scoring those.
No, I agree. Which we need. But I just think that there is. And
I think if you send Eddie the other way, I think there's definitely a deal to be done in January.
There is.
There's definitely a deal to be done in January. Because we know Brentford are going to need a striker.
Do you know what's funny about that?
We know Eddie's got the quality to score goals.
We never see those. Like, when is the last time we saw a swap deal?
Yeah. No, but obviously there'll be money involved.
No. I agree. But even that, like a player.
But that just makes sense for all parties.
It does, but it's such a FIFA thing. I don't know why clubs don't do that. Like Eddie plus cash should be
makes so much sense.
But it will never go down that
Eddie
way.
can stay in London.
It's 90 every game for Brent.
Eddie, play every week. Bag your goals.
But yeah, it's not going to go down.
But the last thing I wanted to speak about on Arsenal, and then we'll move it on, because I like Trossard. Trossard's a good player. He can fill in different positions, but his last few cameos off the bench have been bad, like especially the Villa one. I was getting really frustrated. I want to see Reece get more minutes, man.
But so this is my point.
I really want to see Reece get more minutes.
This is my point was,
because I think Reece, if you're going to bring Martinelli off, Reece is the most like for like, because Reece will go in and he'll go 1v1 and he'll try and beat his winger and he'll come inside and he's got the link up play. And I've just seen enough from Reece's cameo minutes to feel like, this guy. I remember we had a conversation before the North London derby when we knew Martinelli was out, and I was like, I would start Reece.
Yeah, I remember. No, and you did say that. Well, I agree with you to certain extents, because I want to see Reece get more minutes. And I think this is why I think Arteta is going to, or Edu, whoever might lean towards a winger, is because we can't take Saka off just because of the drop-off from Saka to Reece is crazy, and Saka's clutch in those moments. And I feel like Arteta thinks Martinelli has done the 70 minutes try and run the defender, and either not got change or not found the end ball. And every time I see that for 70 minutes, I think as well, maybe this is a game that Trossard will unlock things. Play that one smart ball that Martinelli won't play, have that one shot that Martinelli won't take, or whatever it will be. And I agree with you.
But then I think bring Trossard on instead of Jesus.
And then put Reece out there. And that's something we should do, because Reece definitely deserves more minutes.
Because Trossard's not going to be the ISO guy.
And exactly. And I think it's crazy that we begged Reece to stay, and we're in a situation.
He's not really getting.
And it's coming to Jan, and after Jan, the games mean everything.
Yeah.
So it's like.
But we know he can make an impact even then. But I just want to see him get a few more minutes. I think he'll obviously start against PSV. And I really hope he plays well.
I want to impress.
And on the Emile Smith-Rowe thing, Mikel Arteta, obviously he's back in training now.
Is he?
Yeah, he was back in training today. Mikel Arteta gave a press conference and he was like, players have to go through what Emile's gone through, and hopefully he can use that to come back and be even better. But he said that he's never seen Emile Smith-Rowe do his rehab the way he's done his rehab this time round. Like, I think there's something in that. I think Emile Smith-Rowe, obviously, he kind of knows if he doesn't really cut it this season, it could be it.
This is exactly what Culture Cams means when he talks about, like, my manager's uninspiring. Arteta says those words, and Arsenal fans are like...
Yeah. Even from early, even from the very first, Arteta was saying, this performance was okay, but it's not good enough.
Yeah, and Arsenal fans are like...
We just picked up a point at Stamford Bridge after going down to 10 men.
Yeah, I hear that. I'm all in as well, Arteta.
But Arteta's not gonna, because Arteta's publicly called out Emil Smith Rowe this season.
Yeah,
he said that he needs to show me that he wants to be in this team.
It's to the point now where Arteta doesn't even need to tell you you've got 6 months. You know you've got 6 months.
Yeah.
You know.
But we'll move on from the Arsenal game. Obviously, they did lose. And the last thing I'll say on this, because people might be thinking, oh, these two are pretty calm considering Arsenal just lost Liverpool, top of the table, whatever. I said after Havertz scored late on at Brentford, we enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Kai Havertz got the late winner. We picked up 3 points. We went top of the league that day. We enjoyed that. But we also said it doesn't really matter at the moment.
Yeah.
Right? Just like how this loss, we've lost. It's bad. We could have gone there, maybe made a statement and whatever. But we're 1 point behind. Again, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
When it comes to March, if you want to start seeing me and Michael start getting really emotional,
get upset,
and really angry, so stay tuned.
I can take a 1-0 to Villa in December.
Yeah.
But
if we go to Brighton in 25th of March,
and Odegaard misses that chance,
we're gonna be on here and we're gonna be on his neck. Yeah. So
I'll be right there with you. But Havertz needs to start the next game.
That big game midfield is gonna come.
We've got to start changing things up.
But we'll move on to Everton versus Chelsea. Goodison Park. Sean Dyche, real men.
One thing I want to say on record, and this goes to this game as well as to any game. I love football clubs' nicknames when they're beating the original top 6.
Yeah,
the Toffees, the Cherries, the Seagulls,
up the Toffees.
It's just a weird thing I love about football is when you hear the
Foxes.
When you hear the Foxes have turned over who or the Toffees are 2-0 up, but it's so it fills me with so much joy to hear football club's nickname or just to see in a group chat the Cherries.
Up the Cherries.
It's too good. It's too good. But on this game,
they thought they could give him a 10-point deduction and send him down.
I don't really know what to. I don't know who should we begin with.
Everton,
because they're the home team.
Because without that 10-point deduction, they'd be above Chelsea.
Yeah, they'd be in the top half, man. They would be. I told you, they'll be 4 points off United.
Yep. Sean Dyche, man. I've been telling people for years. You probably remember this. He got Burnley into Europe. When Wenger was getting, people were asking me about Sean Dyche. I was like, he deserves a chance. He just got Burnley into Europe. Obviously, he wouldn't have been my first choice, but Sean Dyche is just that guy. He will not get a team relegated. He knows how to keep them up. He knows the formula.
Yeah.
Do you see him cussing out McNeil's celebration?
Yeah, stupid dance.
And then Dobbins scored and just went running over to him. He was like, that's a real celebration. Authentic with the crowd.
No, I think Sean Dyche, he's like one of the only man, and that Burnley period, he's like one of the only managers to go against the grain of like, I'm just going to not spend any money.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's like if
negative net spend every summer.
It doesn't matter if you don't spend money, you're not staying up.
Yeah.
But to keep it to his Everton career, I just think it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous if Sean Dyche keeps his Everton team up. But I think. Everybody had questions on them at the beginning of the season. 2 weeks ago, I just said how much I hated watching Everton play. Yeah. So frustrating, so annoying. They've gone on a tear since then.
3-0 against Newcastle midweek.
Yeah, I
2-0 against Chelsea. McNeil.
I don't think any team should have a 10-point deduction. And I lie. I don't think any relegation team should have a 10-point deduction and
stay up easily.
Comfortably stay up or comfortably look like they're going to stay up.
Yeah.
If you're Luton, if you're Sheffield, if you're whoever, you must be thinking 10 points should really be, we shouldn't be finishing 10 points behind Everton.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, without the 10-point deduction, they'd be fighting for Europe.
Yeah. We shouldn't be finishing 10 points behind Everton. And he's still got injuries.
Ashley Young played right back.
That's what I'm saying. He's got this kid. As essentially, but he's got Doucouré playing as the 10,
bagging goals,
back on a tear, and it's literally because he's the only guy with any semblance of composure in front of goal.
Who might know where to be.
Yeah. And obviously McNeil's wonderful has come in for him time and time again. That one that's Sean
Cash
Dyche
money.
It's cultured from Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
That's a cultured left foot. He steered that whole career.
yeah, literally, he built McNeil from the ground,
brick by brick.
Yeah. That is his guy.
That's it.
But yeah, I mean, massive win for Everton again at Goodison. I said this after we went. Now, so glad that
You got it out the way, innit?
But on to Chelsea.
I've said this time and time again. I still don't know what Chelsea's biggest problem is.
Well, we're gonna try and dissect that. So the fans are really starting to turn on Poch now. Really starting to. Even Arman, who I had on last week, who was in Poch's camp, I think after those 2 losses, I think he's really starting to maybe question it.
Would you, in a Chelsea fan's boots, start to turn on Poch?
Okay, so I think this question has layers.
Yeah,
right.
Because
I think Chelsea are the most spoiled fan base in the Premier League.
100. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
Chelsea fans, more modern era Chelsea fans, have come to a point where they expect success. Maya always used to say on their pod, no matter how shit Chelsea were, I'm leaving with something.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's like they leave with something, or they just go out and spend 70 to 100 mil on the world's best players, and always have something to like be gassed about coming into the new season. Yeah, it's one of the two. You win a trophy, or you sign the hottest target, the hottest like prospect in the market that year.
Yeah,
and go, and it's like
they go again. Yeah, I mean, even when Lampard was their manager, after his first season, I remember you said, you can't tell me that Chelsea won't win the Champions League, this season, and I was like, with Lampard they won't, but I mean they might. But even then it was, and then Tuchel came in and they won the Champions League. And Chelsea were that football club. But it's not the same. It's not the same now.
It's not that weird resilience of. Remember, we used to say you can never like count Chelsea out of a match. Like going into the game, you can never count Chelsea out. I count Chelsea out of a lot of matches now.
Yeah, I mean, I knew they'd get beat by Everton. My dad transferred in McNeil and Calvert-Lewin, both of them. He took a 4-point hit because he thought, these men are going to get slapped here. But the words "trust the process," they're not in Chelsea fans' dictionary. They hate those words.
Poch coming out and saying, we need to go again in Jan is crazy.
And I think that's the problem. So when you say, if I was a Chelsea fan, where would I stand? Chelsea fans they're not willing to accept. I mean, they're going to have to. Because you're not the same team. You're not the same club. You ain't going to do the same stuff. You're going to have to trust the process, and it's going to be a while.
But you're a big Poch guy. So it's like,
I still think Poch is the only good thing at Chelsea
that they've brought in. I agree.
Right now. I think right now Poch is the only good thing at Chelsea.
I agree.
So if they get rid of Poch, so try and get another manager come in and get Trina. I think the bigger issue, and this is something that I wanted to talk about, because obviously Chelsea fans aren't used to waiting for success. They're just used to being.
It just happens.
We used to have conversation. We used to be like, anyhow, Chelsea have a downfall.
We have to be there. We have to be there
because them man had it way too easy, man. We were down in the dumps. Baku 8th place finishes. Pablo Mari in the summer transfer window, and Chelsea Champions League. Chelsea up an FA Cup, like doing whatever.
It was so annoying because they would turn that star signing into a shit player, but somebody else would turn up.
Yeah. Mason Mount just comes out from the academy. Tammy Abraham bags 15 league goals. Like whatever it is, but. I think that the bigger conversation is that, like, very real conversations need to be had about the actual quality of some of these Chelsea players.
And the money they spent on those said players.
Like Enzo Fernandez.
And Zonzi.
And Jonjo.
And Jonjo.
But I mean, I can see, I think we said this, he's going to suffer from the Xhaka thing, right?
Yeah.
But he's not. He's really not. We said Ryan Christie ran the show at Old Trafford, Enzo
yet
Fernandez,
to see that,
man.
We're yet to see that. It's coming to a year.
Park, like I just don't. And I think take away the price tag because
it's unfair.
It is, right. And like the only player that anyone's going to say is worth it is Declan Rice. And even then, I saw Kai Havertz do an interview, and he was like,
people think it's easy.
From my point of view, no one's worth the money they go for. Because when you really look at it, no one man is worth £100 million.
Yeah.
But obviously in the context of football and whatever.
You're not buying the man, you're buying a product.
Yeah. A brand. Whatever it might be, right? Declan Rice is worth that. right? And his value and whether how well he's going to be, how well he will do at Arsenal will be judged based off what he wins, right? But at this current moment, Declan Rice, I mean, we didn't even sign Declan Rice to score last minute winners, and win us points. But he's doing that, right? Aside from the game, Enzo, take away the price tag. I genuinely have doubts about how good this guy can be in this league.
I do too. The running power thing is a problem. It's a big problem. On the ball, he still looks, you know, like he has something
play
there.
For Barcelona.
Yeah, like he has something there. But I think as well there is a mentality and application thing, and I don't know how much of that, some of that is on him, and how much of that is on just the environment he's found himself at Chelsea, just losing game after game after game after game after game.
Yeah,
because it's not even. Yeah, he himself. There's just people in and around this league who are running rings around him who should not be running rings around him.
Yeah.
Who just should not be running rings around him.
McTominay.
Yeah. Idrissa Gueye.
Amrabat.
yeah.
Amrabat looked like Busquets when they played.
He's got to do something. He's got to get a grip, like put a challenge in, win the ball back, play, you know. Yeah. And I think I agree with you that it's unfair to level the price tag at him. But I think as one of the better technical players in the team, it's also your duty to step up and stand up and just be like, give me the ball.
Yeah.
I can look after it.
Yeah.
I know Badiashile can't. I know Desassi can't.
Yeah.
You know,
Enzo, I don't think Enzo can.
I know Caicedo, that's not even his game.
Yeah.
And he's a midfielder.
Yeah.
Conor Gallagher next to me. Give me the ball. Let me do the Jorginho 5-yard ball thing to you, give it back. Yeah. And then I can get a little bit of space, put one around the corner for somebody. He's not even doing the basic fundamentals of trying to get a hold of the ball. Put your studs on it, look around at the pitch, see who's open, play a 5-yard ball, get it back, go into space. He's almost like cowering in the midfield and
which
letting
is the worst thing, right?
Letting guys run over him, letting guys run around, letting guys act like they're McTominay and Amrabat as if they're like world beaters.
And this isn't just like a pick on Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, because there's a lot of guys.
There's other guys as well.
Mudryk, the number 10.
Mudryk, I thought he might be coming into a bit of form, but I saw someone else say this. They were like, when we watch Mudryk play, he looks like a 14-year-old.
His cheeks, man. Mudryk is so.
He looks like a 14-year-old playing football and
he misses one golden chance a game.
Yeah. Yeah,
and he just doesn't do enough. Also, the problem with Mudryk I have is, obviously he's young, he's got a lot to develop and a lot to learn, but he never looks like he has an idea. He wants to move forward with the ball, but he never looks like he has an idea of like, which way am I going to go when I beat my man? What shot am I going to try and take?
I think Lampard said this. Lampard,
all improv.
Lampard was like, when he came back last year, he saw Mudryk and thought, this guy's electric. Yeah. But he has no football IQ.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he wants to do.
He doesn't understand the game, which is why I think had he come to
10.
Arsenal,
he's got the number 10 on his back.
But yeah, had he come to Arsenal and Mikel had been like, look, touchline winger,
roots,
get the ball, side on, make this run, make that run, the timing, everything.
He has Sterling right there to learn from. I know Sterling's definitely not got his arm around him, but like he does have,
and also Sterling's game is like very,
it's different.
Unorthodox. Like I don't look at Sterling's game and look at someone else and say replicate that.
No, but Sterling was a Mudryk. 20 years ago.
True.
Sterling can be like,
you can see the comparison.
You're quick. You're gonna be quicker than everybody else for majority of your career.
Didn't really have that like.
This is what I did. Or this is what Mikel told me to do. He told me to watch these 4 guys, or he told me to like, you know, get a cone, put it there, use my left foot, get crosses in the box, use my right foot, get crosses in the box. Wherever it's gonna be, it's like, and I see the clips from Mudryk in training, and it's like,
lashing it in the top corner.
Lashing top bins. And then it comes to match practice, and there's a defender in front of him, and it's not a cone.
Yeah,
and he just has no idea. I think Badiashile and Desassi individually are 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 defenders.
I think Badiashile, whenever I've seen him, looks all right.
He looks better than Desassi. Yeah. But I think it's so comical to go and buy Monaco's defender. Yeah. And then 6 months later go and buy the other Monaco defender.
Yeah. And Colwell is not a left back. Levi Colwill is not a left back, right? He cannot play there.
But I still couldn't tell you what Chelsea's biggest problem is. Like, I still couldn't tell you why it's all not like they spend the money on okay, like they shouldn't be 12th or 11th or wherever they
should
are.
be doing better.
They almost have as many games played as points on the board, and that should not be the case. Like the fact that Everton would be above them, I'd probably take every Chelsea player on paper ahead of that Everton lineup.
Yeah,
apart from Onana, who I'd put in the midfield. Yeah,
I'd take Ashley Young over Reece James because that's another thing. I think we just need to like really like just put a message out there on this podcast and say we will stop comparing Reece James to Trent because it is just disrespectful to Trent.
I've put a pause.
It's just disrespectful.
I've put a pin in the conversation until Reece James can play 3 or 4 games of football for sure.
Until he plays 15 games consecutively, or 10 games consecutively. We'll start low.
We'll start low.
10 games consecutively. But other than that, it's just disrespectful. Trent has not done what he's done, turned up week in, week out, to be compared to this guy.
The only reason I'm in agreement with that, and I'm an RJ guy, it's just because he just does not play enough football. No. And even Malo Gusto's out.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
Like I
Gusto's the future though. I've been telling people Gusto's better than Reece James.
I never sold Gusto. I just don't quite understand why Chelsea are where they are. And I understand Abramovich has gone, but you spend a lot of money, you've got a good manager, you've got a good set of players in there. I understand they're young and there's going to be some inconsistencies, but even with that, like you should still be in and around 7th or 8th or 9th.
Yeah, they should be. And I think a big problem is that obviously they can't score goals, which is something that we predicted.
Yeah.
But it was funny when Oman was sat here and he was saying, I can't see us scoring goals. I can't see us like a pattern of play and being like, yeah, we'll do that next week and score. And I was sat there listening to him and I was just like, I
know what this looks like. Yeah.
What me and Michael used to talk about with Arteta when we were losing 1-0 at home to Burnley.
I used to go into games, like if it wasn't a penalty, or we got lucky from a corner, we
no goals.
We were going to create one chance from open play if we were lucky, and if we didn't take that, it came down to a penalty or a corner. Yeah. And other than that, we were fucked.
And it's dark.
And it's dire. Those are dark.
When you watch your team and you're like, we probably won't score today. Dark.
And it's easy. It's Burnley at home.
It's Wolves at home. Southampton at home. Whoever it is, we probably won't score today unless it's a pen. Or whatever it is.
But to answer my own question, I don't think Chelsea fans should be really worrying about POCH. No. I think POCH is a good enough manager, and I know,
but they're gonna have to accept that it ain't gonna be a case of just we're gonna win now, or we're gonna bounce back, or we're gonna do this.
Yeah. Another 2 signings in Jan isn't gonna turn this around. But I still like Man United. Their problems for me are so clear. Like I see it. I see why and where they're going wrong. As I say, Paddy Shield's better than a lot of the defenders in the bottom half. You've got Thiago Silva at the club. You've got all these guys at the club. I think it's like, without that ruthlessness from up top about winning culture, I think this is what happens.
Yeah. This is the period you're going to go through.
Yeah, this is what happens.
So strap in.
And there's going to be dark days.
Yeah. And you know what? Me and Michael are going to sit here and we're going to enjoy it
every week. There'll be a new nickname every week.
Because even more than Man United, more than Liverpool, more than Tottenham, you lot deserve it.
Yeah.
Like you lot have had so
Chelsea
much
fans
success.
Still talk wash and still
so much success.
They're still like, fuck Chelsea fans.
Now you're going to experience what it's like to support your team when it's hard to support your team.
And I hope it's a 20-year run. Because Chelsea fans are like, well, I've seen my team be successful for 20 years. I think I can take a break for 1 or 2. No,
it's going to be longer than that.
Yeah.
You're going to be waiting. But yeah, we'll move on. Fulham versus West Ham. Back-to-back 5-0 wins for Fulham.
Yo, West Ham?
Beat Tottenham midweek.
West Ham can't buy a fucking clean sheet, man.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
You know, in FPL, I have not had one goalkeeper clean sheet all season.
I brought Soufal in. I thought, West Ham got a decent one of fixtures. Yeah.
hold 5.
Yeah.
Raul Jimenez, back-to-back braces.
Yeah.
2 against Forest, 2 against West Ham. Willian stepping up.
Yeah, it will be in and around
yeah.
it.
And Marco Silva, I want to shout out Marco Silva because Fulham were in a bad run of form.
Yeah.
It was looking very sticky. And he's come out the other side. And I always feel like managers of those kind of clubs like Fulham, Brentford, Brighton, whoever down there, they go through those tough patches, but then to come out, and I mean, 2 back to beat anyone 5-0. Arsenal have done it once this season.
Yeah.
They beat Shef U 5-0.
It's not even like Fulham got a prolific front line.
Not at all.
Raul Jimenez hasn't scored 4 goals in 3 years.
yeah.
Like
Harry
was
Wilson scoring worldies. They scored 3 at Anfield. Like, shout out Marco Silva, man.
And he could have gone Saudi in the summer. He decided to thug it out in whatever this is going to be.
With no Mitro.
No, nothing. They gave him Morby last day and said, have that.
Yeah. Create something.
Make something of that. But just on West Ham, I just think, boy, the inconsistency there.
Yeah. And I mean, no Edson Alvarez, no points, it looks like. So maybe I was justified to put him in my list.
To be fair to West Ham, I heard that they had
a bug.
Yeah.
And Moyes was blaming the scheduling. He was like, we played Thursday, so now we'll have to play Sunday. But yeah, not a good one for West Ham, especially to lose 5-0. But I guess they'll take that after beating Tottenham at Tottenham. That's all West Ham.
And those goals were hilarious.
Yeah, but West Ham fans, you say, which one would you want to win? Is it Tottenham away?
Yeah,
they love that. I know Bat was crying. Bat was hurting that day, man. Irons. But
a stupid thing that
Abbas in their own stadium as well, man. They went to Tottenham and they won in your stadium. But yeah, we'll move on. Luton versus Man City. And it's a tough week for Luton because they've had 2 very good performances.
I've got nothing from
it. Arsenal, Man City. But I saw you like my tweet after we played them
about Ross, Big Boss,
Barkley. Yeah,
but I've been a Ross.
We both have.
I thought, and I'll say this on camera because I've said this a lot of times. I thought in 2014, Ross Barkley was the second coming of at least Frank Lampard. I was going to say Jesus,
Steven Gerrard.
Yeah, Ross
at Everton
was
under Roberto Martinez.
I thought that right there, that is a world beater.
Skinhead Ross. Both feet. Crashing it.
I was like, that is a world beater. I was like, there's nothing stopping this guy from reaching world class levels. There's nothing, all the rest.
Did you see? Because obviously they had Roberto Martinez on Prime.
Yeah.
And the way he spoke about Ross Barkley, and where Ross Barkley was when he was at Everton.
Yeah.
And obviously another one of those guys who maybe just
ruined by Chelsea, huh?
Sorry, was getting a bit of tune out of it.
Sorry, that goal versus Liverpool. Yeah.
Sorry, he was doing all right with it. But I think he's another one of those guys where, and I saw James Milner talk about this recently. He was like, some players, you look at them and they're amazing. They have everything. They could go right to the top, but they don't realize the opportunity they have till they're like 24, 25, 26, and then it's too late, and then you're floundering around the leagues and doing whatever. And I think Ross Barkley's maybe one of them who maybe just didn't. Well, attitude wasn't
right
there. Maybe wasn't doing everything he could have been doing. Because, like you say, he definitely, we saw enough to know that he could have gone to.
He was 20 years old, getting 16, 17 goals in the Premier League, and I thought,
yeah. And I mean that turn,
he's serious
for the Luton goal is top level.
But Ross has always been 2-footed. And he's always been silky on the ball, and I agree. It's probably been a mentality thing that's let him down. And he spent one too many years loving life, earning £100,000 a week at Chelsea when he could have ducked out a year earlier and tried to make something of his career later on. But I'm very happy to see what he's doing at Luton, for sure.
And Andros Townsend, I've got to give Andros Townsend a shout. I know he's ex Tottenham, coming out talking about eating chicken feet and ox heart and. But the guy Andros. If you need someone to put a dangerous ball in the box,
I love those memes.
Off any feet, you get Andros. Oh, the hairline
about the Andros Townsend and Guardiola.
Bro, he put that on it. He literally lobbed it up there and said Adebayo, and it was like an alley-oop. Just lobbing it up for the big guy, the big man move. No. But yeah, on Man City. Obviously, come back. They won 2-1. A lot of people saying that they don't look like the same team. For me personally, and I've said this all season that I think Man City will win the league. I still think that. They could be 10 points behind, and I probably would still think that.
Yeah.
And the main reason for that, we spoke about Martin Odegaard and the 2 chances he missed. And the first thing I said to my dad when we had that conversation was, you know who buries both of those? Kevin De Bruyne. The best player in the Premier League, arguably the best midfielder to ever play in the Premier League. Yeah. One of the most clutch guys we've ever seen, hasn't kicked a ball yet.
I don't even think... obviously, I know he was in the squad to go to the Club World Cup and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think Pep has honestly told him, don't worry about the first half of the season. Yeah.
Bro, KDB's NBA,
don't worry.
UFC.
Yeah, don't worry.
Pep's just said...
I think he could have been fit 3 weeks ago. Yeah. I legitimately think he could have been...
what Emil Smith-Rowe was doing.
Yeah,
he'd be back. But
I legitimately think
look, just chill.
March.
No, they wouldn't even be Jan, he might play a couple Carabao Cup games.
Yeah.
He might get rotation minutes, 20, 30 minutes here and there. From March to May, KDB will play 90 minutes.
He's on crud.
Champions League.
He's on crud.
Premier League weekend, Champions League, Premier League. He'll play 90 minutes and he will turn up.
I think the scary thing is Man City could probably win the league without him. Still from this position.
I'm not sure.
I genuinely think that they could.
I'm not sure.
I think that they could.
I think he's a mass. I think the Liverpool game that they dropped points, the Chelsea game that they dropped points.
He makes something out of nothing.
Even when they played us, when they played Villa, I think City either win all those games or at least get a point.
I still think that they could win the league without KDB, and I think when he does come back, he's just gonna go on especially because everybody's talking about when is he gonna come back, but I feel like every time he comes back, it's almost as like KDB says to himself, "Oh, they've been talking down on my name."
Yeah.
No one's talking down on his name. Yeah, it's like no one's talking down on his name, and he comes back with the like, "Oh, I'm gonna show them." And he just and he balls out, and all of this.
He's gonna come back with that. Madison.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Yeah, I on Man City,
can you imagine those 2 chances Odegaard had
on either foot, foot for KDB,
right
on either foot,
net rippling,
especially for the first one.
Yeah, top corner
when Jesus lays it off.
Yeah,
KDB doesn't take a touch.
No.
He doesn't take a touch. He
stanchions.
Yeah. Keeper has no chance. But
Emi Martinez can gamble and he still won't get near.
I just think on Man City though, they're doing enough. Like, it's kind of crazy that they're not further behind, having not won for a couple of weeks up until this week. They're gonna tie themselves over. They didn't have Haaland, Bernardo Silva.
The Rodri thing we mentioned it.
The Rodri thing is very interesting.
Pep, that can't be your legacy.
But I think, as I said, as much as they're losing games without Rodri, I could not be Calvin Phillips right now.
Yeah,
I could not see Stones and Akanji. I couldn't see
Pep's coming out. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Calvin. I just can't. I can't.
But the back line was like, Walker, Diaz, Gvardiol, Ake, or whoever it was, with Stones, and there's literally 6 central defenders on this pitch. Yeah. No ball progression versus Villa. Not a single chance created. Not a single string of passes in midfield, and we're Pep City playing tiki-taka football. Like, how can you not get a game? Pep was talking about, I just don't see it. What? You used to gas out Calvin Phillips, Leeds, Bielsa.
I used
England.
to say he's better than Declan Rice.
I used to see it. Look, I remember you used to tell me, like, even when Leeds were like, still playing championship football, this guy turns in the 6th position, knocks the ball 70 yards to somebody.
Bro, he was a number 10 before Bielsa came in.
Puts the ball on somebody's, puts it on a sixpence every time. Yeah. And he's doing it for England in the Euros. He's doing all the... I get it, like, players can go through rough patches and bad forms or whatever. But we're coming on to... It's not even second season Calvin Phillips.
No, yeah.
There's nothing going on there.
Surely you just stick him in and say, try.
Do something. Let me see something.
Let me just give him a chance. But no, Rico Lewis, Oscar Bob, they're all coming in. It's long. But you know what? If I was Calvin Phillips, I don't think I would care.
You wouldn't care that much.
I'm gonna retire with my Champions League medal, my Premier League medal. I won everything in the game. I'm just making good money.
Yeah. I think I just think Pep is one of the most funny managers in the league.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him an MVP this week, but we'll get onto that. But yeah, we'll move on from that game to the last game of the weekend, Tottenham Newcastle. Tottenham's first win in 6.
Yeah.
They absolutely demolished Newcastle. And Kulusevski played well. He didn't come out of a GA,
but he did.
But he played well. So I'll give him his credit
Maybe
for
the
that.
10's his natural position.
I think so. I think his best position is a number 10.
But he's not going to be better than Madders.
No. So he won't be able to play that. But that is his best position.
Just has to be a bum then, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, I think 2 Tottenham players I want to talk about. One, Pedro Porro.
Yeah. Who, once again, week on week,
the quarterback.
Pedro Porro's technical ability.
He is doing Trent type stuff.
His technical ability is so jokes.
That pass he plays, Lord have whoa.
Some of the corners he whips in,
yeah.
They're vicious. They're just begging to be knocked in.
I'm seeing balls come in the box and Pedro Porro's at the front stick.
Yeah.
Like honestly, the technical quality that he has.
Yeah, the technical quality that he has. Also, the positions that Ange has Udogie and Porro in at times.
Yeah,
like Udogie, I'm seeing him in like the number 10.
Look where he is to score the goal.
He lays it off to Son.
Yeah,
and then he lays it off to Son already, and he takes the ball like with his back to goal in the number 10 area, lays it off to Son, runs into the box and gets the finish.
Yeah.
I'm like, Zinchenko's not doing that.
No.
You know,
Zinchenko's levels above Udogie.
Of course.
I didn't mention Zinchenko, but one thing about Zinchenko is that
those splitting passes.
As much as people think he's a liability for Arsenal,
what he brings offensively,
and the Wolves goal last week, I was angry with him because he cost us. In the Villa game, I actually think he did all right, even defensively. I think he was all right, but the catch-22 almost with Zinchenko is that Zinchenko in possession.
It's crazy.
Is on a different level.
I thought at the beginning I was like, oh man, I wasn't getting onto Zinchenko, but I thought that's what happens when we ask Gabriel and Rice to do the one-on-one thing out wide. And I was like, all right, Zinchenko's gonna have to make up for this. And he, even though we didn't win the game, he more than did. Yeah. The amount of times he sent Martinelli away. Yeah. The amount of times he just
played to Havertz for Odegaard's chance. It's perfectly weighted in behind. The difference in our play when Zinchenko's on the pitch and when he's not on the pitch is crazy.
But Porro is there, Zinchenko.
And Porro's been balling. He's been balling this season. And even defensively, I've always kind of questioned him defensively, but he's been doing all right so far.
Yeah. Do you remember Tim Sherwood wrote him
after the Leicester game? Yeah, because he got ripped up, and he said he's the worst right back he's ever seen play for Tottenham. But that's Tim Sherwood, isn't it? That's why he didn't make it as a manager.
Who's the other player you wanted to speak about?
We thought he was a striker. I thought it was 2015. Step overs. They're calling him Kieran Trippier.
Yeah, he did rip up Trippier.
Heung-min Son, I thought your time as I didn't even tell people to include you in the wingers list.
Yeah, you specifically, I remember.
I thought he was done.
No, he's crazy.
I thought it was Pochettino's team I was watching. The way that first the step over.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I have not seen Son hit a step over like that.
It's crazy.
In probably 2-3 years.
Trippier's had nightmares this week. Yeah. He's automatically on my dud of the week.
Yeah. He will be.
He will be.
But 2 assists and a goal. Stepped up for the penalty.
I think,
and mainly I want to give him his props because when Harry Kane left,
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, we obviously a lot of people and Tottenham fans included thought, decline now. We're going down. Ain't got those goal scorers. Ain't got those guys to bring us out the mud. And I never really thought Son was that player. I'm still going to stand on it and say I don't think he is. I still think Son is, and this is why the debate between him and Rashford is quite easy to have because I feel like they're both quite purple patch players.
Yeah.
But obviously he's taken the armband now, and he is providing the goals. He's stepping up. He's leading from the front. The way he presses, the Man City game. I mean, the goal he scored in that game. What I would give to see an Arsenal player do that at the Etihad. Who is it that he murks? Is it Doku?
Yeah.
Just gets off. Yeah. For straight line run and bang, goal. Shout out Son. Stepping up big time.
I was going to say, I didn't think Son was and I've been a Son guy, but I didn't think Son was I can have the team on my back guy. And all of the pressure come down on me. I thought he enjoyed being the number 2 to Kane, because all the pressure came down on Kane.
Yeah.
The if Tottenham lost the game, Harry Kane has to show up again in a big game.
And Son could just get his and kind of go under the radar.
And like people were accepting of him being a purple patch player, because when he's purple, he's purple. You know, but Son, like even in some of the performances where Tottenham haven't gotten wins and stuff, I still think like, yo, if you played Son in right there, he rips it. And
especially because there's no Madders.
That's what I was gonna say. And this is with Maddison out.
Like, he's really stepped up big time.
I think Tottenham fans will obviously say that this is who he's been the whole time. But I think even just like
he was not this last season.
I think just even doing like the post-match conferences and like not shying away from all the media responsibilities that come with having a team on your back. It bodes well. It sets a precedent. Stuff that Rashford's not. Rashford's ducking the pro.
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw Rashford do a post-match conference of any game? He's ducking all of. He's ducking every single any chance, and he's fluent in English, born and raised in this country.
This guy couldn't get enough of Rashford last season.
That's what I'm saying.
I was seeing him in every interview.
Son did the interview last match when they lost against West Ham, talking about how unacceptable it is and how we need to be better. And then he put in the performance next game, and turned it around. And like, as much as
there's definitely something to be said about
as much as we want to hate on Tottenham and all of this kind of stuff, he's talking the talk and he's backing it up. And like he's the main man in the team, and that's all you can really do. That's all you can really do. I can't get onto him this week. Newcastle, I mean,
bad week for Newcastle.
As I said, I kind of I'm happy that Newcastle are doing shit. Ever since they beat us and the way they beat us and how they were talking, and like I
don't really mind seeing them lose.
I feel like they've had enough punishment now. They've lost like 5 games since they beat us. Like,
I was gonna ask you, is it enough? Just to provide some analysis on the Newcastle stuff, is it enough to just say they're tired? The same players have had to play like every game, 2-3 games a week.
I sympathize with the injuries, but I also think that some of them, more so even in the Everton game, because Tottenham can play good football. That Everton result, or like, it seems like Newcastle comes to a point where they just like, especially in these last 2 games, once 1 or 2 go win, they just
they're liable to
they just switch off. They're just like, oh, this is done. Let's move on to the next game. And it's not even like, let's keep this to a lower score as possible, or let's just concede chance after chance and like just get back on the bus as quick as possible.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I think it's really tough because they're playing the 17-year-old kid or 18-year-old kid in midfield. 5 games. I don't think that should happen to any 18-year-old kid.
He's going away to PSG in the Parc de France.
Like 5-6 games in a row. And I'm seeing names on the bench. Like Longstaff is on the bench.
Yeah.
I don't know how fit.
So I think when they get players back, that'll afford Eddie Howe to be able to rotate. And they might, because honestly, they look so leggy in that game.
They did look like. For me, it seems like just like the mental focus. Like it seems like guys, Trippier, he's played 1 too many games in a row.
Yeah.
And like he can't even make a 5-yard pass.
Yeah.
You know, so I give it some credence, but I'm reluctant to be like, it's all down to injuries and tiredness, just because this is your job. This is what you're meant to be doing. A manager is meant to find a way around these obstacles to get performances and to get results out of people. Maybe even people like it's tough because they're missing Harvey Barnes. Like, you give Gordon a rest, you get Barnes on.
Exactly. Jacob Murphy.
Could
even come in and do a job for Almir. Willock. Longstaff. Botman. Dan Burn.
There's a lot of players that are missing for them. Pope is out even.
Exactly. So I think it's been tough for them, and that's where, because it's not even like 1 or 2, literally the same 11 played against Man United, played against PSG, played against Everton, and then played against Tottenham. I think it was coming, and it's tough. But when Newcastle start getting their players back, I think they'll be all right, and they'll go back to where they were. But yeah, that wraps up all the games this week. MVP and Rookie of the Week. My first MVP is going to go to Girona.
Big win.
Won in the new camp.
Can you imagine?
4-2. Were they top of the league or second?
I think they're second. I think Madrid. Well, Madrid drew, to be fair.
But yeah, I mean, doing what they're doing to go to the new camp and win. I think Barca are 3rd or 4th, massive win. So they definitely get an MVP from me. Raul Jimenez. I was gonna move on to,
back from the
obviously
dead.
after the head injury, back-to-back braces. Had to give him one. What are
My
you saying?
my MVP goes to LA Lakers. They won the in-season tournament.
Okay.
AD,
Yeah.
huge, 44 points, 16 rebounds.
Yeah.
Like 8 assists, 10 assists.
Can he be compared with Jokic again now?
They've got a chip each. I think Jokic and I think AD was just as instrumental to his chip as Jokic was to his chip.
Okay.
That's a good.
The chip that AD won in COVID with LeBron.
Yes, that's a legitimate chip. That's a legitimate chip. I don't want to hear no bubble chip talk.
Jokic getting it done though.
Jokic getting it done.
Yeah.
But they've kind of
was it a player finals MVP?
LeBron.
For
Jokic.
For
Jokic, yeah, he cleaned that up.
Yeah.
He ate that for breakfast. But I think they've like not taken the foot the gas. We just don't hear as much from the Denver Nuggets. They're not making as much noise.
Yeah.
Another one of my champs has to be to Emery. I mean, if you beat Arsenal and City in the same week, you've kind of got to get a champs or an MVP of the week. And I think I did have another one, but it is escaping me. My duds or my rookies of the week, Kieran Trippier.
Yeah.
What a fucking bum.
Yeah.
This week, those mistakes.
Cost the team 4 goals.
Yeah, those mistakes. Chelsea as well, just two.
Yeah, Chelsea definitely up there.
You can lose to United and you can lose to Everton away from home, but not in the way in which you lost to United and Everton in the way from home. Ten Hag. Crazy. Oh, I was going to give another one of my MVPs to Roy Hodgson.
And Iraola.
Yeah,
both of them. Yeah.
Roy, just for being Roy, just for being a 40-year-old manager, a manager who's done 40 years of management, and just like throwing your weight around in some of these press conferences and being like, I don't really think you can tell me what to say or what not to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to come here, I'm going to speak my mind. Yeah. I'm not going to get charged by the FA or the Premier League or the PGMOL.
You can't touch me.
I'm not going to miss nothing from the game of football. I love how openly Roy talks about retirement.
Yeah.
Even last
right around the corner.
Even last season, he was like, well, I'm coming towards the end. I respect it. Yeah. I respect it.
One of my rookies of the week has to be Joey Barton.
What is he on? What? He's got to be selling a book. He's got to be selling a book. He's got to have
on Piers Morgan.
He's got to be on like Celebrity Get Me Out of Here or something. He's got to have like something.
Yeah,
to
I'll get him on every podcast. Right, his manager's doing overtime getting him on podcasts. But from where some people might have said that he had a point originally by saying that obviously the men's game is different to the women's game and the punditry is different and the way you analyze it. When you tune into Sky Sports and you want that high level punditry, you want to be able to hear from Roy Keane and Gary Neville.
Been there, done that.
People been in title winning teams. They know what it's like to go to Anfield in that cauldron and do it. It's like at that point, I can hear what you're saying on that. But then he just took it way too far. Started talking about people being racist to white people. Like people taking white people's jobs, and she just started going. And then I was like, "Yeah, man, you've lost me now. You've lost me now. I can't defend any of this."
And I saw him on Piers talking about, I've got a sister, my nan. Piers was asking him, "Are you a misogynist?" I've got a sister. I've got a wife. But my nan's a girl. I love women. I was like, okay, you're despicable. You're despicable, man.
He started throwing words out like tokenism. And I was like, this is a dangerous place now. Like, so someone needs to get a hold of Joey Barton's Twitter. And
I don't know what it is. It's not funny, but it's not funny. But it's like when I see Joey Barton on Twitter talking about, just go back to the women's game. Yeah. I'm like, I can hear you saying every one of these tweets.
Yeah.
And then my favorite line when people do stuff like this is like, I'm just saying what everybody's thinking. I'm just saying what everybody's thinking.
I'm just voicing it.
I'm sorry I have to be the one to say it. I don't want to be. I don't want to be the one to say it, but I'm sorry I have to be.
Like you're the martyr.
Yeah.
You're the hero.
All right, Joey.
No, Joey Barton, you are definitely rookie of the week.
I think he's selling a book. He's got to be doing something. He's got something about him.
Otherwise, it's a waste of PR.
There's a rollout. Yeah. There has to be a rollout.
Everyone's searching Joey Barton right now.
Yeah, his tweets are crazy.
But yeah, that's I think any more rookies. I think that's it for me.
That's it.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Make sure you tune in next week because Erik ten Hag might not be Man United manager, or he may have saved his job with a win at Anfield. But either way, it's going to be interesting.
Do you want to just do a quick chances of them getting through to the Champions League and beating Liverpool this week? At the Liverpool game, no chance.
I think we should give a score prediction for that game.
I think it'll be a 3-1.
I'm going to go 6-0. So yeah, 6-0 Liverpool.
I think it'll be a 3-1. McTom.
3-1 Man United.
Yeah. No, 3-1.
3-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, 3-1 Liverpool.
Yeah. Make someone they go. Nah, I think it'll be 6-0. I think Liverpool will score in the first 10 minutes, and I think that Man United team will absolutely capitulate. I think Salah. Bro, who's going to play left back and stop Salah?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Salah. So in your free, because Salah's getting at least 3.
Oh,
so Salah's scoring all
Salah
the goals.
was my MVP of the week.
200 goals. Yeah, fair.
That's a very sturdy achievement.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're listening to this, Captain Salah. That's
just leave it there.
Captain Salah. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you tune in next week, and peace.
One love.